Hello and welcome back. We are continuing on working on this book. Last time we made the cover with these 2 pages right here. If you didn't see that, I'll go ahead and put a link right up there someplace and you can go back and take a look at how to do that. This is what it looks like, what we made, the inside cover. I'm also making other ones too along the way. This is one that I'm making that I'm going to be using Christmas paper on. I made it with the pockets. Here's one that I made that's going to be just kind of normal, fun little paper. And then I also made a few of just the standard one that's exactly like this one. So what we're going to be doing today, I'll show you, is right here. We're going to be making the inside, creating the bones for what the rest of the book is. We're making the signature. Let me show you what you're going to need for that. First off, you're going to want to grab one of the cards from your kit. This will be a 10-inch by a 7-inch piece of cardstock. That's the card from the kit. You're also going to want some coffee dyed paper. If you don't want a coffee dye, that's okay, but you're going to want paper to use for your pages. You're going to want anywhere from 4 pieces to maybe 8 pieces or something. It all depends on your preference, but you want at least 1 piece and then 3 pieces for the middle of the book. You're also going to be using needle with some kind of a thicker type of a thread twine. This is baker's twine that I used for mine. That's a nice one because it's a one you can get a grip on and you can tie it nice and easily. Another thing that we're going to be using a hole punch, just a standard hole punch, something that anyone would have at their place. So these are kind of the basic things. There might be something else that I'm missing, but you kind of get the idea. So for the paper, I should also let you know you want to cut that as the same size as the card that you're using. So I'm using, this is a 5x7 card that I'm using, so my paper is the same size. It's the 10x7. But if I were to fold it in half, like the card, now I have the 5x7. So, okay, so let's get going on the next part. So I'm going to show you how to do it on this particular book right here. This is the cover that we made. That's going to be the first part. And then I want to put a piece of coffee dyed paper next. And then I want to put my card down next. And then I want anywhere from 3, maybe 5 pieces in the middle. It really depends on whatever you like. I'm going to go ahead and fold that. This already has a crease line. It comes from the little card kit. Fold that, and then I'm going to fold this one. Now the ones that I want to pay attention to first are these ones right here. I'll be dealing with this part just a little bit later. I want to secure these. I want to sew these in so they're going to just stay in place. I'm going to be working on this one, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be taking a piece of my coffee dyed paper, and then I'm going to place a card on top of that. These are basically the same size. I'm going to find the middle, and I'm going to push it in and have that, look for it to make sure that it's in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and grab a few clips, keep it in place. And now I'm going to determine where I want the holes. Now this is important. What I want you to do is cut a piece of scrap paper, and I want it to be the exact same height of your card page or your paper page. And in this case it should be 7 inches. So now that I have this cut and ready for the 7 inches, I'm going to go ahead and take my paper punch and push it all the way in on one side and then push it all the way in on the other side. I'm going to use this to determine where my holes are going to go. So I'm going to place this right in the middle, and I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to put a mark at the point that's closest together. So at this point and this point, not the outer points, not the outer edge, but at the inside edges of my circle, I'm going to make 2 marks. So this is just an extra little step that just makes it so your book insides, the parts that's permanent, stays in place. I'm going to put a couple holes there, and I'm going to just use my normal thread. So I guess this wasn't on my list of things that you need. This is just a normal piece of thread, and I'm going to tie this in. You can either use the 2 holes, or if you know how to do the pamphlet stitch, go ahead and put that third hole in. So that's what I'm going to do. But you don't have to, you can just do the 2 holes and then tie it up. So, once again, if you're not using a pamphlet stitch, just loop it through these 2 holes and then tie a knot with the 2 together right there. I'm going to do the pamphlet stitch, and so I'm going to go in these holes and make it more complete. Okay, so I've got that tied together now. I'm just going to place just a little teeny tiny bit of glue on there. I just feel better, just to make sure that it's not going to come undone. At this point, I'm going to take my coffee dyed paper. I don't need the template. I could put it there, but since I'm going to just use the same punch, I'm going to push it in the same distance I did the other one. That's why it's important you push all the way up. And I'm going to push it in the middle on both sides. Okay. So now I have it where this is going to be able to go straight down. At this point, I'm going to use the same holes that I used on this one. I'm just going to make sure my holes are nice, have a nice size so that I can put this baker's twine through it. Got to find my needle again. So sometimes I feel like it's hard to put this through, so what I'll do, I'll put just a smidgen of glue on this and I'll flatten it out, and that glue will kind of hold it in place sufficiently, and I can then thread it through my needle. Otherwise, you know, with all the various strands, it makes it a little more difficult. Alright, I'm going to take 3. I'm going to make 4 just to be safe. I'm not sure exactly what the perfect number is, so I'm just going to go 4. So I've got 4 lengths of my book there. I'm going to put this to the side while I sew it. For this portion, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going through that same hole at the top, leaving a long thread, and on the bottom I'm going through the same hole on the bottom and pulling it up. So now I have these 2 wonderful strands that I can sew the rest of it with. I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to bring these to the same length. Take your paper, go ahead and thread it through, and because there's such nice big holes, it'll thread nice and easily through it. Easy peasy, even big fumbly fingers can do it. And you can go ahead and do it through the other one. Okay, once you have that, go ahead and tie them up and you are good to go. Next, we're going to be working on the actual pages. And you can take these off. There you go. So now, these can be replaced at any time, and these inside ones that we're going to be doing all the interactive pieces, they'll stay. So sorry about that. I was having camera problems. You may have noticed. So I'll get that taken care of by the next video. So thanks for sticking with me, and we will get together for the next one quite soon. Bye.